Hi everyone, it's Stephen here for Bland Designs, and this is vlog number 57 for February the 13th Australian time. So of course Walter's in the background, so you may hear some noises, and I'm sitting outside on the okay, can you turn that off?
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you. Jeez.
I accidentally started playing it.
Okay, fine. This is not a Stephen and Walter live, so be quiet unless I call upon you. Today's special guest star, it might be Walter. And may have some other noises in the background too, because I'm sitting in my hotel room. We're sitting in our hotel room on our balcony. And I'm recording this at around 4 o'clock in the afternoon here, our time being Australian time. And the hotel is located on a major highway, so you will hear probably trucks or things in the background going by. But it's a really nice day here. It's sunny, it's warm, it's summer. Okay, so those of you in the northern hemisphere know what I mean, that as you suffer from snow, and from what I've heard, we've had a lot of snow at home. We may have to pay the kid even more money that we gave him to shovel off our driveway while we're away, because I think he's got his work cut out for him. But anyways, this is not going to be a long vlog. As you know, here in Australia, it's kind of hit and miss as far as internet connections are concerned, but I'm taking advantage of this particular hotel we're staying in. We're staying in a little tiny town, 1,500 people, called Panola. It's on our way to Adelaide. We're in southern Australia, the state of southern Australia. Rented lips. I'll let you in a little secret. I have had a couple of beers before I was doing this. But, you know, I'm on holiday, so what do you expect? So anyways, we arrived here about an hour and a half ago, and we checked out the little town, and it is little. As far as eating establishments are concerned, there's a fly bugging around me. It's an Australian fly. It didn't have much to offer. So what we decided to do is we went to the IGA to get stuff for Brekkie tomorrow before we leave on our way to our next stop, which is Victoria Harbour. That's what it's called, isn't it, Walter?
Victor Harbour.
Oh, Victor Harbour. Victor?
Victor Harbour.
Oh, Victor Harbour. Okay.
And Harbour is spelled H-A-R-B-O-R.
Okay. Yeah, spellings here are a little different, so are the words. Okay, that fly may be friendly, but he wasn't around me until I started this vlog. Wants to be on TV, I guess. So that's where we're off to tomorrow, and it's a bit of a hike tomorrow. How many kilometers?
I'm not sure. I have to look.
Oh, just a font of information here. So anyways, it's been exciting, I can tell you, in the rented car for these last 2 days. I think Walter's getting better at it, but you realize that we're driving on the left-hand side as opposed to the right-hand side as we do in North America. So it takes a little getting used to. And Walter seems to enjoy scraping my side of the car off onto the ditch every now and then. You'll actually see parts of that in the videos that I've managed to upload today. And as a side here, I know most of you probably have been watching. Well, I know quite a few of you have been watching. I don't know if most of you have.
402 kilometers.
Okay, I've just been told, news update, bullet, it's 402 kilometers we're traveling tomorrow. The total distance, another aside here, this is going to be all over the place because I don't have my notes like I usually have with me. So whatever comes out of my mouth comes out of my mouth, okay? So yeah, from Melbourne to Adelaide is just over 800 kilometers. But we want to stop along the way to see some of the sights, like the great big sinkhole that we saw today, which you will see on a video that I've uploaded. Actually, it was more interesting than it sounded. It's actually a sinkhole in the limestone. It goes down for quite a ways, and it's been made into a garden. And it's free to visit it, and you can go right down inside of it, and it's quite beautiful, and it's very unusual. It's like being in a cave in certain parts of it, but you'll see that on the video. The video is the one that says Panola, February 13th. That's the video that has that on it. And we saw the Blue Lake in Mount Gambier as well, And basically it's a volcano crater, and it's filled with water, and it turns blue and stays blue until from about, what was it, March to November? Or no, Scott can't, because it's blue right now.
In November and stays blue till March.
Okay, so
and then it goes gray.
Okay, and then it goes gray. And did you read why it's blue?
There's some sort of crystals in the lake.
Some sort of crystals in the lake that do this, I guess, and at certain times of the year it makes it blue, and it is really, really blue. It's quite pretty. And that's on that same video, so check that out if you're interested. So anyways, back to the driving, or the fright drive. Like a roller coaster, especially when we did the Great Ocean Road, that is, well, if you've ever been to California and gone on the coastal road there, it's very much like that, where you're like hanging out, hairpin turns and curves and everything. Of course, every so often it was under construction and we were delayed because they were doing whatever they needed to do to maintain the road, and you can't go very fast on it. In fact, they post a speed limit on it. Actually, the GPS is telling us that you can go like 80 kilometers an hour, but there's signs saying only do 40. And believe me, you didn't want to go over 40 on it. No way. So that was a bit hair-raising when, you know, an inexperienced driver with this side of, like, driving on the left-hand side of the road kind of a thing. So there were only a few moments when I thought I was going to die. I'd like to say there was only a few. I thought I did very well. I didn't shriek too often, although there were moments when I kept...
imaginary brake on that side.
Yeah, I do have an imaginary brake on my side of the car. You know, it's really weird. Sitting in the side of the car you're used to sitting on at home, and there's no steering wheel. That's weird. But anyways, I think we're getting a little bit more used to it. I hope Walter's getting a little more used to it. I just have to remind him every now and then that you are getting very close to the ditch on the left-hand side. It's always my side, too. You know, what's with that? What's that about? Anyways, we're in one piece, and it's going well. It's very interesting to see the landscape along the way, and other little things that you see along the way, like dead kangaroos and other animals that have been run over at night. They highly recommend you do not drive on Australian roads between dusk and dawn, or dawn to dusk, whichever. In rural areas, because that's when they all come out, and you will see kangaroo crossings for 12 kilometers, 18 kilometers, things like that. And yes, so there was one in the middle of our lane. Walter tried to avoid it. It was dead. Well, I'm pretty sure it was dead, because if it wasn't dead, it is now, because I thought he was going to straddle it. No. The left front and back wheel hit it. Boom, boom. Okay. Kangaroo dead for sure. Now, it was very dead when we hit it, because it was very flat. It's kind of sad to see them, though, like that, because you want to talk about major roadkill mess. Kangaroos are not tiny. All right? And I don't know, if you hit it with a car, I think it would be like hitting a deer. I think it would do serious damage. But anyways, we saw more than one. So, you know, it's kind of like seeing skunks or raccoons on the side of our roads. You see kangaroos. What's that?
Yeah, it's like hitting a deer or something. Yeah,
that's what I just said. Did you miss that paragraph?
Yeah,
what? Okay, fine. Go back, bury yourself in your game or whatever you're doing. So, yeah. So it's been an experience driving across where we've been driving across. What else? What else can I tell you? Well, okay, I'm going to bring up some shopping here, because did a little. I think I mentioned in one of my videos that we had been to Spotlight, and that was in Melbourne. Well, we discovered as we were coming into, I can't say it right, but it's in the video. It's the one called Warrnambool.
Warrnambool.
Warrnambool. Warrnambool. Warrnambool. Warrnambool. Okay. And by the way, if I look like I'm looking off to the side, it's because my configuration is totally different from what I usually use, and my camera's actually over on this side, and that's the one I should be looking into, but I tend to look over on this side, so you're getting the wonky look. So anyways, there was a big spotlight there we saw as we're coming into the town, and a great big Bunnings. Now, I don't know if I mentioned Bunnings before, but I have mentioned Adele of Inky Quill. You've heard me mention Adele and her website, or her channel, and I reviewed it a long time ago, and I watch her on a regular basis, and she's always talking about shopping at Bunnings and at Spotlight. So, we're in a Spotlight in Melbourne, and yeah, it is a great place. However, it's kind of like a Michael's and a Joann's with a little touch of Hobby Lobby, all thrown in together, possibly a little Bed Bath & Beyond too in there, because they sell not just crafting stuff, but they sell fabric, you know, by the yard, by the meter. They also sell some houseware things and things like that. So I checked out their fabric. I'm going to say more about fabric in a moment. But I did check out their crafting supplies, and really they didn't have anything there that I can't buy in my own country, except that they do carry a lot of the Kaiser Craft stamps and supplies. And now Kaiser Craft is an Australian company, but we can get Kaiser Craft in our own country. But they had a sale on, and I picked up these two rubber stamps, which I thought were kind of cool, and they cost me $1.99 a piece with the sale. And that's Aussie dollars, but that's pretty much the same as Canadian dollars. So in American dollars, they would be less than that as well. But I thought they were really kind of cool. This one is sort of a postage stamp kind of thing. Hold it up here so you can see it better. And this one will make, I think, a really cool background. You can probably put it whatever way you want. But I thought, yeah, sure. And they're small. They'll fit in my suitcase. They won't add any weight to it all, because you got to be cautious of that when you're getting on a flight, unless you want to pay big bucks for more weight and things like that. So, and I'm also being very selective about any place where I go and what I'm buying. I'm not just buying it for the sake of buying it. I'm buying it because I can't get it at home. So, or it's something that was such a fantastic price that, you know, it's worth bringing it back. So far, this is what I've bought. That, and I've been buying tea towels and napkins and handkerchiefs that have uniquely Australian themes to them. Now, here's my idea. I didn't think of this before I left Canada, but when I saw these tea towels, it started with, let me see if I can find them. Oh, I don't have them out here, but they're in the house. But anyways, I'm not going to go in and find them now. But what they were was handkerchiefs. Saw them at an information center for a park in Melbourne that we went through, the Fitzroy. They were $4.95 for a square. You know, and they're, I don't know what size they are. They're not a bad size. But they had some very unique Australian indigenous designs on them that I thought would make a nice, you know, panel in a quilt. That got me thinking. There's all these tea towels you can get. We went to the Victoria Market in Melbourne, and of course it's a giant flea market in many ways. But, you know, there was this one guy, he was selling tea towels and other things, and you got 4 tea towels for 10 bucks. And so I bought some of those, and then I've seen other ones. And the thing is, they are cotton, and they will make into quilts. I can cut them down or use them as. So this one I think is of sites in Melbourne. It's hard to show the whole thing on here. And here's another one. This one says Melbourne on it. And well, I had to get the Aussie flag, of course, in a tea towel. Now my idea for this is this will be the center of the quilt. That'll be my base, and then everything else will go around it. And I bought others. There's ones that have indigenous designs on them. And of course you got to have something with a kangaroo and a kookaburra. You know, like those are, you know, definitive creatures from this. And of course a little koala in an indigenous design as well. So I will use these. I'll probably cut some of them down for smaller squares. But then I came upon some other more, now these were more expensive. Those like were 4 for $10. The handkerchief squares were like $4.95 in the information center. And then I found these tea towels in other places, and now these are were much more expensive. This one was like $26.95, but I love the design on it. And I love the color in it as well. And it's a fair size. It's bigger than those other ones, I think. So again, this one I can cut down into probably several squares to use in the quilt. And then I came across this. When we were in the Botanical Gardens in Melbourne, and in their obligatory market or store, because everyone has one, they had these sets of 4 napkins. They measure 14 inches by 14 inches. But I really like the design. There's a picture, I think, on here. Get it in the shot. It shows you the 4 napkins. They're 100% cotton. They'll work really well in a quilt. And I bought 2. And this is the second package in the blues. So now I'm missing a couple of other ones. There must be still in my bag in there. I forgot to pull them out because I got a couple of other ones yesterday when we stopped in a place called Lorne, which is on the Great Ocean Road, and they were fantastic. One has actually got an embroidered bird on it, an indigenous bird to Australia. I don't know which one it is. I don't think it was a kookaburra, but whatever. But I thought that looked really cool. And there was another one there too. Those little suckers. Now, did I tell you the price on these? These were $22.95 for a set of 4. The other 2 that I bought yesterday were about $25, $26 a piece. So, you know, really, these are not cheap. By the time I'm done buying more of these, making a quilt from it and the whole bit, this is not a cheap project. But that's not what I'm doing it for. I'm not doing it for cheapness. I'm doing it to make something unique that's a memory of the trip. I mean, I've done scrapbooks for years. I've done scrapbooks, travel scrapbooks. I've done Project Life with our last trips. I was thinking of collecting ephemera, you know, brochures and things like that, and doing a mixed media canvas. I'm kind of leaning away from that idea now, because now I'm focusing more of my attention on looking at the fabrics and trying to find things that are a little bit that are indicative of Australia. So we'll see how this goes. Now, of course, I'll have to supplement these with other materials, you know, probably solids and things like that for this quilt. But I think it could be a really cool project. So it's a different way of commemorating a trip. So anyways, what else can I talk to you about? Well, there's one little thing. Okay, this is part of this is what's pissing me off this week. I think I may have mentioned this in other videos at some point in time. And first of all, I put up a disclaimer here. 1, this might sound racist to some people. I gotta get myself adjusted here in my chair. I'm slipping down and out of the camera shot. I don't mean this to sound racist, but in my mind, this is factual. Okay? So, you're out taking a picture of something. You're out to see, like the sinkhole or the blue lake or whatever other things we were taking. There isn't anybody around at that moment in time. It's the perfect picture. You're going to take it. I raise my camera. Suddenly, I look into the screen of the camera, and what do I find? Asians taking pictures of themselves with the backdrop of what I'm trying to take a picture of. They weren't there a moment ago. I don't know how they got there. Are they magical? Can they materialize at the moment a camera is raised? But they're always there. And the problem I have with them, okay, these people love their pictures. Okay, I grant you, like they like to travel, they take these pictures. That's great. I've got nothing against that. That's okay. The problem is, how can I get them out of my pictures? I am tired of this. I would love to develop an app that removes Asians from your pictures. Now that probably sounds very, oh God, neo-Nazi, but I'm not saying it in that way. What I mean is, they come in and they monopolize. They don't just take a picture and move away. They take thousands of them, and you're standing there and you're polite. I stand there and I wait and I wait and I wait for them to move, and they don't. And as soon as one lot's finished, another lot comes in, and there's everybody with them. They got the grandparents, they got the wife, the kids, the aunts, the uncles, the cousins, the people down the street. They travel in large groups, I have found. Okay, take your picture, move on. That's all I'm asking. I don't care if you're there. That's not what's bothering me. What's bothering me is that I would like to get one shot in without somebody from your family in my picture. That's all I ask. Okay? So I'm not trying to be racist about this. I'm being very real. But I'm telling you, if I had the technology and was able to do it, I would develop an app for Photoshop. It spots an Asian, Photoshops them out of your picture. Your picture's perfect. I could make millions on that. I am sorry if some of you that are following me are Asian background. Okay? I do not think that Asians are... I'm not trying to be racist about it.
We've even been to China.
And we've been to China and had a lovely time. And the people there were lovely. In fact, the people there were nicer than the people in my own country that come from there. I don't get that. But nevertheless, all I'm saying is, could you not be a little bit more considerate of the people around you? Go in, take your pictures, get out. Don't just keep coming in and they push you out of the way. Okay, that, I have a problem with that. And I have been pushed out of the way. They've joggled right. I've got the perfect spot. I've been waiting for it. I go, I stand there. There's nobody else. Suddenly they come in and they're right underneath my arm and right in front of it, and bang. I pick up the camera and there's an Asian face in there. In fact, to be honest, there have been a few times when I've actually pushed back. And I don't like doing that because that's not me. But you can only take so much at a time. And you know, when I've done that, they've been very apologetic and moved way out of the way. But then again, I probably gave them the look that I used to give the kids at school, which is called the fire teacher look. Like, cross my path again, you will die. Simple as that. So, I'm sorry if you think I'm being racist. I'm trying not to be racist. Okay? If they were Germans, if they were Japanese, if they were Americans, if they were Swiss, whatever, if they did the same thing, I would feel the same way. So I would include my app that would remove all people from my pictures. Okay? Alright, enough about that little what's pissing me off this week. So, what else can I tell you? Have I killed Walter yet? No. No. Has he killed me yet? He's trying. I told you about scraping me off on the side of the road on the left-hand side.
I haven't been successful yet.
Yeah, I don't know if you heard that or not, but he said he hasn't been successful yet. Yeah, ha, funny. No, but a lot of people might assume that, you know, when you're traveling close confines with another person, you'll probably tear out their gizzard. Actually, no, we don't. The only time you might tear each other's gizzard out is when one of us does something stupid. Usually that's me, and I usually get told because I'm reading a map upside down, or I don't know. I've found over the years it's just best to let that go off your back and not get too uptight about it, because after he's said it or done it, it's over, it's done with, he's forgotten all about it. So, you know, it's like a 5-year-old. So, you know what I'm saying, right? Yeah. Okay. So anyways, we're having a great time. It's going to be culture shock and seasonal shock, I'm sure, when we get back. But really loving it. Melbourne was great. And even this little place we're staying in right now, I mean, the hotels have been great. The place we stayed in last night, which was our first night away from Melbourne, was a great little place. Now, it was a sleepy little town too. We have found that food in Australia, yeah, Melbourne, I was told by somebody I know who has been to Melbourne before, that, oh, you're going to love Melbourne. There's all kinds of places to eat. There's such a variety. Yeah, there was tons and tons of places to eat in Melbourne. But if you don't want a burger, if you don't want sushi, if you don't want pizzas,
and you don't want fish.
And you don't want fish. You see, that's our problem. As you know, I don't like fish or seafood, except lobster and some shrimp sometimes. It's very limiting. Prices are high, but no more so than what they'd be in Canada, in Toronto, at most places. I mean, there is sticker shock at first, but one thing Walter reminded me, like for example, $22.95 for these. You see, Aussie dollars. For sake of comparison, that's pretty much the same as Canadian dollars. However, in Canada, if you saw this price tag for $22.95, it would not be $22.95. It would be 13% more because of our tax, at least in our province in Ontario, added on top of that. No, $22.95 is $22.95. The tax, they have a tax, it's included in that price. That's the final price. So no surprises. That goes along with food and drink as well. So when you're in a restaurant and you see that a pasta dish is going to cost you $23, it's $23. In Canada, that would be $23 plus another 13% on top of it. Plus, Walter also added a tip. And on average, I don't know if we're cheap or not, but we usually tip 15%. Here you don't tip. You can if you want to, but no one's expecting it. So in Canada, $23 plus 13% plus another 15% on top of that. Yeah. So really, prices here are not unreasonable. It's just, we haven't had any really horrible bad meals. But probably the best, I said to Walter the other day, I said probably the best meal we've had was the first night at that Beer Deluxe, which you'll see on the very first Melbourne Day 1 video, where I talked about the $14.50 beers and the $45 pizzas. But those pizzas were really good. The place where we got stood up by that woman, it's in Melbourne Day 5, I think, that we were supposed to meet. Go to that video, you'll hear more about that. We decided the next day to go there for lunch. That wasn't good. Walter got a chicken sandwich. He's been eating a lot of chicken lately. Chicken burgers here, chicken burgers there. I don't know what it is, but he's getting chicken burgers all the time. He had their chicken burger there, and it was dark meat chicken, which he prefers dark meat chicken.
But not as that type of thing.
But he says not as that type of thing, and he said it wasn't that great. And I got a hamburger, and it was undercooked. Maybe here that's okay, that's the way they like it, but I really have an aversion to red hamburger meat.
Most places said that they cook it well, unless they thought you were American, maybe. And
well, I don't know, they didn't see me. Well, you ordered.
I don't know, maybe they just do it there.
Anything, you look Israeli, but I mean, or Middle Eastern. But anyways, it was a little underdone, but I didn't send it back. I ate it anyways and hope to hell that I didn't die. And I'm still here, so I guess I'm okay with that. And it wasn't, I didn't find it that good. But that place really was more of a watering hole. It was a bar, like a huge bar. And I think it's a place where a lot of people hang out to just drink. I don't think they really care about eating too much. So, yeah. Last night's dinner, you can see it on the video that I just put up for Lorne. Yeah, that was, Walter had what we thought was a sort of a chicken cordon bleu, but he said it was not good. And I ordered the chicken pesto pasta dish. The chicken was shredded, and okay, usually in our country, if you get chicken in a pasta dish, it's like chunks of chicken or sliced chicken into it, not shredded. Well, I mean, shredded chicken is still chicken, but it was a little on the dry side, needed more sauce, and there was just, and Walter said the same thing in his, there's a weird background taste with however they cooked it.
My chicken came with beef juice on it.
Yeah, his chicken came with beef juice on it. You're mixing your animals. I don't know. I don't know if that's kosher or not.
I don't think that was very good.
I don't know, that wasn't it. But their breakfast, which was included in that hotel this morning, was very good. They had like a buffet with fruit and yogurt and cereal and croissants. And the croissants were stuffed with like a ham and cheese kind of a thing. But then you ordered off their main menu as well, whatever you wanted. So actually, it was good. Now, we did pay extra for that in the room price, didn't we? Didn't you say we paid extra for that?
The room, it was included in the room price. I could have gotten a cheaper room, but didn't include breakfast.
Oh, okay. But it wasn't, how much more did you pay?
I can't remember.
Okay, so he can't remember.
Maybe $20.
Okay, $20, but it was worth it. It really was worth it. It was good. Of course, tonight we are in a hotel that doesn't have that kind of thing, and there isn't any place in this little town really where you think you'd probably get. There might be, but we didn't bother. We've stocked ourselves up a little bit because the room came with a toaster, a little bar fridge, and plates and flatware and everything. So, and we didn't know that this room was going to come with it. And as I said, this is in my video that's up today, that this was right now I'm pretty impressed with the place, and that's one reason I'm doing the vlog from this place, because the internet here is fantastic. The internet at the place we were in last night, hit and miss. It couldn't handle me uploading to YouTube, so I have to take advantage of it when I can. So anyways, speaking of all of that, I think I'll end this vlog for this week, and we'll probably do a Stephen and Walter live at some point while we're in Adelaide, pending again what our internet connection might be there thank you to all of you who've made some really nice comments that you've been enjoying what I've been putting up about our trip. I'm glad that you are, and I'm glad that you're seeing them, and that's great. And I hope wherever you are that you're having a good life as well, and well, you're not having as much fun as we are, I know that. Oh well, had to rub that in. Okay, talk to you in a week. Bye bye.